Hi, this is Dr. Monte. This is the third video in my series on dealing with suicidal thoughts. In this video, we're going to be looking at the after effects of what could happen to you after you die. So this is a much more deeper spiritual look at what happens to us in our souls, what possibly could happen. So stay tuned, please come back. This is Dr. Monte with Peace in the Storm Ministry. Thanks for coming back. As always, on the other videos, please, if you are at all suicidal, please call the number on the suicide hotline that you just saw or listed in the description below. Go find a counselor, minister, someone to talk to about this, a friend, somebody. There are many people around who care and want to help you out. Please. In the first video, we looked at our thoughts and how our thoughts can be so limited when we're upset, when we're emotional, especially when we're suicidal. We can't see. We think we're seeing the truth, but there's so much more to the truth that's out there that we don't see. Please go watch that video. In the last video, we looked at the after effects of what would happen to our loved ones if we were to die. The thoughts that we had, the fantasies that we had about what would happen versus the reality of what really would happen to the people left behind. In this video, we look at you. This is all about you after all, not about them. So what will happen to you? If you're going on a journey, if you're taking a trip, you kind of want to know where you're going, right? How many of us, I know there's times when we want to just pick up and just drive until we just get somewhere else and start a whole new life. But I'm not talking about that. In reality, would you ever just get on a plane and fly somebody not knowing where it's going? What if it goes to Lebanon or somewhere in the Middle East or who knows where? You just don't want to get on a plane and fly anywhere. It could end up being really terrible. You want to know where you're going before you start off to go there. Well, so when you kill yourself, you're kind of taking a really huge one-way trip to who knows where. You kind of want to know where you're going. So let's look at those options. Let's look at that for a second. Let's say you're atheist, and you don't believe in God. So you just think life will just end after that. The life is just really meaningless, and we're just random, mutated, evolved fish. And when this is over with, we die. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, you're dead now. How's life going to be better? The pain will stop? But you still have the fantasy of things, I'm sure you in your head, you still have the fantasy of things being better. Somehow the pain ending. The pain won't end because you won't be here. But that's just not a very great way of looking at it, and I hope to address atheism in other videos and other views of looking at God. Please join me back for some of those videos, it'd be great. But I still see that as a really good alternative because it doesn't get you what you want in any kind of way, shape, or form. It takes the pain away, but at what price? Terrible. Okay. But let's say you believe in God. Okay, so let's look at some of the major world religions. Let's look at Buddhism or Hinduism. They have similar type of beliefs about this. Some of them believe in reincarnation. Okay, if that happens to be true, then, which I don't believe is true, but if it did happen to be true and I'm wrong on that, okay, then you know what? You commit suicide. They don't value those things very well. And if you believe in reincarnation, you're likely to be reincarnated as some lower life form. I don't know, a grasshopper or a snake or a lawyer or something like that. That's just not good. And then, okay, what about the view of karma? Karma, you know, the belief that things come back as we deserve. You know, if we do good, good will come back upon us. If we do bad, bad will come upon us. As I showed last time, you're hurting a lot of people and you're hurting yourself by taking your life earlier than you should. So karma is not going to be very friendly to you if you try to kill yourself. I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said about reincarnation, huh? Okay, but I don't believe in that stuff. I believe in a Christian viewpoint. I believe that God made us for a reason. He made us have fellowship with Him. He's a personal God who loves us deeply. He's a righteous, fair God, like a dad. He wants the rules followed, but He gives us so much love and chances to overcome that. He loved you so much that He sent His Son to die for you, to be able to give you another life after this life, so that we wouldn't die but go on. So I believe that there is a life after this life, and it's going to be so much better than this one. But What about if you kill yourself? What if you believe that, but you kill yourself? A lot of people ask me, is it an unforgivable sin? Well, the Catholic Church and certain other Christian denominations, they do tend to believe that it's an unforgivable sin. It's a mortal sin that you cannot ask for forgiveness for after you do it. And so therefore you have to suffer. Maybe in purgatory, some believe. Maybe just you won't make it to heaven. So others believe. Other denominations don't really say, no one supports it, that's for sure. I did research study on this when I was like early in high school, early in college. One of the first research papers I ever did was on this topic, and I've looked at it a lot ever since. And I examined every kind of denomination's viewpoint, whatever the Bible said about it. And you know what I came up with? We don't know. But why would you bet your eternal salvation on your eternal soul, your eternal happiness on this one gamble, to hoping that it's forgivable? I guarantee you one thing, it's a sin. Life is God's to give and not ours. So if you're going to take that upon yourself, God does give us free will, and he might let you go through with it. He might stop you, but he might let you go through with it. He might be bringing you someone else in your path to try to stop you. He might have sent you here to watch this to try to stop you. Who knows? But he does care about you, and he does not want you to do it. He's not going to be happy with you if you do. So if you make it into heaven, there'll be some price to pay, something. I don't know what. I can't say. But since we don't know, like I said, don't go on that journey if you don't know. But I promise you that God will be with you, and he will help you out. He will be there for you. Remember the first video, I shared my story when my mom died. I was 16 years old, and just friends, family, everyone else had just disappeared, and I was kind of left on my own and just really lost. And I was contemplating it. But I picked up the Bible and was reading in Philippians 1:23. Forgive me, I looked down to read this. Paul was talking. It says, I'm torn between two desires. I long to go and be with Christ, which would be far better for me. But for your sakes, it's better that I continue to live. And I saw that. It's like, wow, even Paul, this great guy, suffered. And I know he suffered a lot. He sat there and had a thorn in his flesh that wasn't healed, and he was alone. He never was married, and he traveled. He was beaten, I forget how many times, an inch of his life, put in prison, and shipwrecked even. And he was not a happy guy, in any kind of way as far as that goes. But he did say he learned to be content in all things. But for him to write this, let me know, is he's thinking that too. He's kind of he would long to go to heaven as well. But he said he can't. He's got to do things for other people. He's got to do what God wants him to do. And the fact that what really struck me was, it hit me that if Paul wrote this in the Bible, that means he understood. But not only did he understand, that means God really understands what I'm going through. And he was reaching out to try to touch me and tell me, Monty, you've got things to do. Oh my gosh. It's no glory to myself, because I don't deserve much of anything. But God's put me in a position to help a bunch of other people. And how many people could you help in the future? How much of a difference of a life could you make in other people's lives in the future? There's so much store for your life. Just don't throw that away and assume that nothing's going to happen. God is there, he cares, and he wants to make things better for you. Another favorite verse of mine is Jeremiah 29:11. It says, I have plans for you, plans to prosper, for you to prosper, plans to give you hope and a future. I love that verse. Hold on to that verse, Jeremiah 29:11. God does care about you, and please seek someone else to talk to about this. There's so much more. No matter what you've done wrong in your life, God can forgive you. No matter what someone's done to you and how bad a shape you find yourself in your life, there's always hope. As I've said in other videos, so many old folks will tell you they've read despair several times of their life. They've lost children and jobs and failed and divorced, and yet they continue to live a full life afterwards. So please find some hope in all that, and just hang in there. Just please reach out, comment, and tell me what you think of this. If there's anything more I could say to address on this topic. I have a book coming out, hopefully about soon, and will be on this link on dealing with life storms. And please check out my website as well. If you think this is helpful at all, just share this with somebody else, and who needs it. Please subscribe and support me on that way as well. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.